Hi, everybody. My name is Travis, and this is the Daily Travesty. We've been doing a series of videos meant to help players that are new to drafting in Magic and want to learn how to do it. What is draft? How do you build a good draft deck? Get them up to speed. In the last video, we drafted this sweet looking black-green deck in a quick draft on Arena. In general, I would suggest you do premier drafts. I think drafting against human opponents is going to teach you how to draft better. It's more fun, and your expected value on the gems you get back and the rewards you get for going 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0 are actually much higher. So I would suggest you premier draft. We did a quick draft though, so that I could talk my way through all of the picks. And yeah, we ended up with this sweet deck. There are a couple cards we had to decide to cut. We left out the 2 Professor's Warnings. We left out an Agonizing Remorse. Didn't need Inkcaster. Reckless Amplimancer got left out in exchange for 3 Leech Fanatics and a Scurrid Colony. I'm not sure if that's entirely correct. I think the life gain off of the Fanatics is really nice, and it combos really well with our Blood Researcher. Honor Troll got left behind. And that's pretty much it. I think we're going to run this deck as it is. As I mentioned before, this is draft and it's Magic. It's extremely high variance. So I have no idea how well this deck is going to do. It's entirely possible we go 0-3 with this deck. And that's okay. I mean, that's going to happen sometimes. It sucks if it's the one draft you get to do all week. You saved up gold or gems all week to do it. But draft is super open to variance. Our deck looks sweet, but we could come across decks that are way more powerful. Or we could just get unlucky. Our opponents could get lucky, or they could be better than us. So I'm okay with how the results turn out, but I do want to show you how the deck plays out and talk more about some of the strategy using a deck like this, and in draft in particular, things you're looking out for. I'm going to be talking quickly because we're going to be playing live opponents and there's a timer. I'm not going to have as much time to talk as I did in the last video, but I'm doing my best to try and describe what I'm doing to you and what I'm doing. I'll try my best to describe what I'm doing to you and why. Also, I apologize that my voice is getting a little bit hoarse. I've been recording these videos for the last couple hours and it does get dry. Let's go ahead and jump in and see what we can do with this deck here. Deck looks sweet. We weren't really sure if we were supposed to be in green-blue or green-black, but the signals we read told us that green-black was going to be more open, and I think we did get paid off because of that. So I'm happy with where the deck ended up. This is a perfect draft hand. We have some lands, we have some cards to play early, we have a removal spell. This is great. I would never mulligan this hand. And in general, I don't think you mulligan very many hands in Limited. If you have no lands, get rid of it. If you have 6 lands and 1 card that is really expensive, you might mulligan. But in general, it's better to not mulligan. So really easy so far. We're going to play a 2-drop. Hopefully, if they don't play a creature, we can chip in for some damage, gain some life. I found that in the Strixhaven drafts, you need life. It comes down to a lot of grindy battles back and forth. In general, I suggest playing your creatures after combat. I want to attack and I don't want my opponent to have information about what I'm going to play. But our Blood Researcher gains 1/1 counters when we gain life, and we're hoping to gain life off of Leech Fanatic. So I think it's worth the risk of playing our Blood Researcher early to maybe make it a 3/3 right away. Nice. Good for us. In general, I think you should put... Okay, well, there's a concession from our opponent. I don't think they should have conceded there, and I suggest that you don't concede. I assume our opponent didn't draw a 3rd land. We had a pretty good start. 2-drop into 3-drop. Mana curve, right? Building your deck with a nice mana curve. Maybe our opponent's deck is full of 6 mana cards, and they were just never going to win. Maybe they didn't draw a 3rd land and got a little bit upset. I think that's a bit premature. They don't know what's in our hand. Maybe we have 4 lands in our hand, And as soon as they draw a third land, they can play a creature as big as ours, and we fight back and forth. I don't think them taking a couple points of damage here is that bad. And in general, you shouldn't concede. I mean, if you're going to win, if the opponent is going to win that quickly anyway, just let them play it out. It's only going to take another 30 seconds, but maybe you draw something that helps you stabilize and come back into it. You definitely lose every game you concede. You don't necessarily lose every game that you play out. So, I mean, early win for us. That wasn't a great game. Obviously, I love taking the win there, but I want to show you guys some good matches with interesting decision points. So hopefully we can get some of those. One thing to note, because the premier drafts cost more than the quick drafts, in general, you will find more experienced drafters in the premier drafts. I think that's good for you. Even if you're new, you are going to learn from people that are more experienced doing that. So don't be discouraged from playing premier just because you think the drafters are better. You also get ranked, right? You get paired against people that are similar rank to you. So it all kind of balances out. But in general, you want to play against the best people you can find because you're going to learn more that way. I don't think people in Premier Draft would have conceded like that because they just have more at stake and they know that they need to be a little bit more patient. This hand is not great. We don't have anything to do on turn 1 or 2. We drew our 10 the Pest, which we're not really sure if we really wanted in the deck. The only thing that's making me keep this hand is Umbral Juke. If the opponent plays a really good creature, we can kill it. If they don't, we can have a 2-1. This is kind of a bad hand, but again, you don't want to mulligan if you don't have to. And we do have stuff to do, right? We can play a 2-1 eventually. It might take us 2 or 3 turns. We have enough lands to play almost anything in our deck at this point. And sometimes you just draw a 2-drop when you need a 2-drop. Opponent might kill it here. Oh, they didn't. All right. So 3-1. If they play a spell, it can get flying or lifelink. Something that we would be interested in killing eventually. One of the other things you'll learn about Limited, or basically Magic in general, is you want to play the most expensive spells you can when you can. So maybe we play a 3-mana card this turn. I'm totally happy if they block with their 3-1. So I think I'm just going to attack and see what they do. I'm totally happy gaining 2 life. I'm happy if they don't block. Interesting. Yeah, I think we're totally fine with this. My plan now is going to be to play nothing. And then if they play a really good creature, I'll get them to sacrifice it. And if they don't, I'll play a 2-1 flyer. So totally happy to trade my 2-mana 2-2 for their 3-mana 3-1, sometimes flying. I mean, we traded a 2-mana creature for a 3-mana creature. That's good for us. Letter of acceptance. Don't know what the opponent's up to. Hunt for specimens. All right, so opponent gets a 1-1. We're not going to make them sack this. That is not worth a card. So we're going to play the 2-1 flying for sure. An opponent goes to get something they can cast with 5 mana. Any color? I assume the opponent is black-white and they might have a red card in their deck. It's called Splashing. Maybe it's the Velomachus Dragon Lord. They also have Environmental Sciences, which helps them splash. So they definitely probably have something really nice that's red. And we're going to have to watch out for that. But till then, we're just going to play a 2-1 flyer and smash away and try and get them dead quickly. Mage Hunter's Onslaught is going to be nice for us. We can kill whatever giant creature they're trying to play. We can't play it yet because we need another black source, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and attack. Play our land, play our Leech Fanatic. It would be really nice if we had a second Swamp here for our Infuse or our Tend the Pest, but we don't, and that's okay. We're still going to play creatures before we play anything else here. You really want to get stuff in play. Interesting. This is a card that is much better in blue-red. Opponent clearly ramping up to something amazing here. I'm excited and terrified. I mean, I feel like they're black-white deck that's splashing red, but maybe they're a red-white deck that is playing some black cards. Well, we drew another swamp. That's awesome for us. I would really like this creature to die. Them making extra treasures is going to be bad for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Although they already have access to 8 mana sources, which can play any card in the game at this point. I do want this thing to die. But a 4-2 really isn't that big of a deal for us. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack for 2 in the air. Leave the Fanatic back to block. Because I also don't want to get hit for 4 damage. So let's just keep smashing in the air. And pass the turn. I mean, we got Mage Hunter's Onslaught for whatever big spell they play. Hopefully it doesn't wreck us before we can play our removal. Maybe we'll play Tend the Pests if they try and kill our Leech Fanatic. Another Letter of Acceptance. Not sure what the opponent's up to here. Pledge Mage is fine. That's something that we could definitely kill with Mage Hunter's Onslaught. All right, well, that's kind of sad that we didn't get to play anything that turn, but again, a little scared about what the opponent is doing. Eliminate is nice. It can't kill any of the creatures we care about, but our deck actually looks pretty sweet. I'm not sure what they're going to do. So let's just go ahead and attack for 2. We would love for them to attack us. And we could use Leech Fanatic to kill their Pledge Mage. Probably with the Infuse. That is one thing. This is a quick draft. Bot drafted maybe less experienced opponents. Maybe not. But that means that the decks you're going to see in quick draft also might not hum as smoothly. So I'm a little curious to see what happens here. We're going to play Infuse with Vitality, but we want to block first. I want to make sure that my opponent... I want to make sure my creature is blocking so I don't take damage from the Pledge Mage. I don't want them to kill my creature in response to Infuse with Vitality. And then I don't get the Infuse and I lose 5 life. So let's go ahead and try and get them with our Infuse. Pass. Nice. Yeah, I think this card is actually quite good. It's a little tough to cast, being 1 black, 1 green, and you have to leave mana up for it. But it's a very powerful effect. I mean, our creature stayed in play and theirs died. Spectre Defense. Interesting. So the opponent not really wrapping into anything scary there. They're probably going to start to sacrifice their letters to draw cards. They have as much mana as they could possibly ever want in this game. And we drew a nice 5-drop of our own. Obviously, we're not going to attack with the 2-1 because they have a blocker now. Unless we wanted to bluff having another Infuse, except this doesn't really work on tokens all that well. So let's just play our 5-mana card. We're not going to attack here. And we're going to pass to the opponent and see what they have to follow up. We have more cards in hand, which is happy for us. But it doesn't mean that the opponent couldn't play something insane and we could be losing very quickly. They also have mana to activate Spectre of the Fens, which is a bit of a problem. Them gaining 2 life and us losing 2 life every turn is bad. This is definitely something I would be happy to target with Mage Hunter's Onslaught. I want to get as much power and toughness and stuff in play as I can before I do that. I want to have resources in play, but next turn, if there's nothing else going on, I might cast Mage Hunter's Onslaught. And we could even combo that into Mage Duel and use both removal spells in the same turn to get rid of Spectre and Stormkill Nardus, which might actually be really good for us. Especially if they use this expanded anatomy on Spectre. Yeah. I think that's a little bit of a mistake. I understand that the opponent wants a big flyer to try and kill us, but putting all of your resources into the same creature is you asking to be blown out by a single spell. It would be way worse for us if they had put the counters on the Stormkiln Artist. We're going to take 10 points of damage here, but then next turn we're going to be able to kill the Spectre and fight the Artist, and that's going to be really big for us. I'm okay taking a little bit of damage here, especially with the opponent with no cards in hand. They could draw a card off Letter of Acceptance, but I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, let's go ahead and put our plan into action. We're going to start by destroying the Spectre. That's the biggest threat. It flies, and it can drain us if they tap mana. Opponent not able to do anything. Because we played a spell, Mage Duel costs less. It's going to make our guy a 6/7, which is going to kill theirs. We're going to do that after combat, though, because if I do it now, they're going to be able to block the Pledge Mage with one of their other creatures, and I don't want them to be able to do that. So let's go ahead and attack. We are totally happy if they block anything we have. I want to get as many of their creatures off the board as possible so my Pledge Mage can bash in. We even get a couple extra life off of the Mage Hunter's Onslaught. So if they hadn't blocked the Pledge Mage, we could Mage Duel the Stormkiln Artist. That's why we waited on the Mage Duel. They ended up chump blocking there, so we can't actually use the Mage Duel here, which is totally fine. We're going to take a bit of damage if they attack next turn, but I still think that's the better way to do that. If you have fight spells and large creatures, I think it's better to attack with your creature first, just in case they choose not to block. Then you get to deal the damage from attacking, and you get to use the fight spell. If we had used the fight spell first there, before attacking, we wouldn't have attacked anyway, and we wouldn't have potentially got the damage in. Cram Session, gain some life. Okay. I mean, they're going to be able to draw something pretty potentially big here. So I don't think the opponent's deck is awful. I think it is a little bit awkward that it's kind of a white, black, red deck. But I mean, they're definitely in it. They're definitely playing spells. Introduction to Prophecy is good. Digging Deep. They're even going to be able to play something off of all their treasure tokens. So this is why you don't concede right away. I mean, I think we've had the upper hand most of the game, but our opponent is still giving us a run for our money. And they could draw something insane here that just absolutely destroys us. It's weird. Are they just playing this one red card? It's a bit strange to me. Go to my turn. All right. Well, sadly, the Stormkiln Artist is bigger than our creature now with the Mage Duel, and that's okay. I think we still attack and try and get this thing out of play. We're going to have the only creature left. It's totally fine, I think, to attack here. And if they want to trade off, I'm happy to do that. We have more cards in hand, and we'll have a creature left over to attack them with. We are going to be winning that race. Great. And we'll have a second creature in play here as well. So, opponent with something in hand to play off of their 5 treasures. I'm kind of excited to see what they do. I mean, they have all the mana they could ever possibly need, which is scary, especially because there are like giant dragons and stuff in this game. Okay. Lose 2 life, draw 2 cards. We're okay with that as long as they don't play a creature, because that means we're going to win faster. Yeah, I think they're just playing this one red card. I assume they have the red-white Elder Dragon. Okay, Flunk. Flunk is definitely going to kill our thing. Do we just make a couple pests? Seems a little bit underwhelming, but might as well get some value out of our pests. I mean, we're not doing anything else with this card, and the pest can still attack in for damage as good as the flyer could, assuming they don't play anything here. If they play something that we can't kill with Eliminate, we're going to be in trouble. Okay, main phase Scry is a little weird, but totally fine. I mean, in general, you want to save this until your opponent's turn is done, so you see what the board state looks like and you're able to scry much better. We're also less worried about them having something now because they chose to spend their mana on scrying. Play my land. Attack for everything. Some people hold their excess lands in hand. I think sometimes it's okay to bluff that, but I have some pretty expensive spells in my deck, some 5 mana and 6 mana cards, and I might want to play more than one thing in a turn if I draw it. So I'm not going to hold lands in my hand until I get to like 9 or 10 in this format, especially in the Strixhaven set. There's just very expensive stuff you want to do. Sure. They're going to exile my 2/2 and find themselves another lesson, which could be bad for us, except a lot of the creature lessons are tokens, which we can kill with Eliminate. Oh, they're going to shoot one of our things with a 1 damage. Yeah. You got it. Totally fine. Opponent drawing a lot of cards. Not bad. I mean, we're definitely playing Demogoth Woe-Eater this turn. Happy to sack the token. Even if they kill our creatures, I'm sacrificing this, drawing an extra card and gaining 2 life is not awful. And I think this match, I mean, there's no guarantee that we're going to win, but I think this match has shown how staying open in a draft can increase the card quality of your deck. I think in general, the cards we've played are a much higher quality than our opponent. This could easily be a deck where maybe they first picked Velomachus, the white-red dragon, and then couldn't get enough red cards, so they kind of went into black-white. I'm not sure. I mean, the opponent's deck looks fine as well. I mean, Rise is good, Flunk is good, lots of Lesson and Learn. Like, I think this is definitely a competitive deck, Hunt for Specimens. But I would say the average card quality that we've played is slightly higher. Maybe I'm just biased, though. Okay, maybe they first picked Exodus. 2/4 double strike. If you cast it, copy or instant sorcery, return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That is a really good effect. That is definitely something we're going to want to kill with Mage Duel next turn. Go to my turn. Sacrifice the 1/1. Gain a life. Now we have an interesting situation. Oh, the opponent has no cards in hand. All right, well, we're going to use Mage Duel, and we're going to hit them for 8, and we're going to win the game. If the opponent had cards in hand, I might attack first. They gave us the good game, so we'll give them the good game. Generally, I don't worry with the emotes. I don't say good game. I think it gets perceived as negative a lot of the time. I certainly take it as negative. If someone beats me and they say good game, I don't like that. It's almost like they're bragging or something. But if someone is losing and they say good game, like they enjoyed the game, then I'm totally fine responding to them. I think that is actually something you do in regular face-to-face Magic too, is it's like generally considered more polite if the person who loses offers to shake hands. If the person who wins does it, sometimes it's construed as negative. I don't know if that's exactly correct, but if people feel bad when you say good game, shouldn't you stop doing it? Like, why are we here to try and make people feel bad on purpose? I don't think that's what humans should be about. All right, another great hand. 2 mana, 1 of each color. Couple of 2 mana cards to play. Again, you see the power of having lower costed cards in your deck, and then something powerful to do later on. So really, really happy with this. We might get to sack Woe Eater for 7 pests, or we might get to sack something else to get pests to feed to the Woe Eater. Really, really nice options here. I'm excited to see if this card is actually any good. Still not convinced. Opponent on black-white. We are going to have our choice of 2 drops. I'm going to save this because I want to be able to learn a lesson later that's maybe more appropriate. And I have enough 2 drops to play. I think I'm just going to play Leech Fanatic. I like gaining life. Like I said, I think in Strixhaven, it's really important to manage your life total well. And if we can sneak in a couple extra points of life here, that's good. Opponent also more likely to block a 2 mana 2/2 with lifelink. So if they play a creature, they're more likely to trade off. And I'm happy to kill my opponent's creatures in this deck. We are trying to win by attacking with stuff on the ground. So the more creatures I can clear out of the way, the better. Let's go ahead and attack for 2 life. Opponent could discard a card to make a 1/1, but that doesn't really matter to us that much. This card has been really underwhelming. Pestilence Cauldron. People have played it. I think it is better in black-green, but even then I don't think it's particularly good. And I think here we are just going to run out as much power and toughness as we can. Our opponent is kind of slowed down playing Pestilence Cauldron, which kind of does nothing. So we want to put as much power into play as we can to try and punish them for it and kill them quicker. Obviously, they played a 3/3 that blocks really well against ours, so we're a little bit stopped. We have our choice again. We could play Hunt for Specimens, but we don't have any 2 mana learn cards, so we would waste the rest of our turn. We could play Demogoth Woe Eater, but then we would have to sacrifice one of our decent creatures to it. So I think I'm just going to play the Flyer. I mean, this thing attacks really well on its own. It's kind of a target for the removal, but maybe I would rather they kill this than this. So no attacks here. We can be a little bit patient, and we're going to hope to just try and beat them with our Flyer. Obviously, next turn, we might play Woe Eater. I would really like to have Woe Eater in play, but also be able to cast 10 the Pests, because if they go to kill the Woe Eater, I want to make 7 1/1s. So maybe I wait until I have 6 mana total, so I can play Woe Eater and hold this up as a response. So next turn is probably Hunt for Specimens, and we have a 3 mana 2/1 Flyer we can go get. So we can play Hunt for Specimens and a 2/1 Flyer. We have to sack a creature. That seems fine. Against black-white, we're not really attacking. I think this is going to be a better defender overall. So we'll get rid of the Leech Fanatic. And opponent drawing a card. All these command cards seem pretty decent. And our opponent attacking us here. I think this is actually fine to double block. I'm kind of worried that they have +1/+1, but even that doesn't really wreck us. If they have the +2/-2 combat trick, they kill both of our things. It's a little bit risky, but yeah, a bunch of cards in hand. I might just take 3 here. I'm totally happy to attack them. We're going to take 3 damage and we're going to deal 4 back to them, which means we're technically winning the race. And I like that. So we're just going to keep attacking them here. No need to double block. We're dealing more damage to the opponent than they're dealing to us right now. we don't need to expose ourselves that way. So let's go and do our thing. We said we're going to go get the 2/1 flyer and play it right away. Make sure I tap my mana properly, because it does cost double black to get the flyer. We could also get pest. That's interesting. We could get pest summoning for the Woe Eater. But I feel like we're just beating them down in the air. And the faster I can kill them, the better. That's kind of an interesting choice. I don't know which of these is better. I think I want the flyer, though. They're going to be able to block our 7/6 with pests, but they can't block the flyer with pests. So maybe we just go get a 2/1 flyer. I mean, they could totally kill this with the Lash or whatever it's called, the 1 mana +1, +2, -2 that we think they have, but they still use a card to kill ours. So yeah, I think that was the right decision. 7/6 seems great until they just block with a 1/1 every turn. So I would rather have the flying creature, the thing that's harder for them to block, until they play a 2/3 of their own, of course. I mean, Mage Duel is going to be really nice here, but I think we're still doing okay. Ooh, Baleful Mastery as well. We can actually play both of these spells this turn. Kill Novice Dissector. No, we wouldn't do that. We would kill Spectre with Baleful Mastery and then play Mage Duel from Scurrid Colony to Dissector. Attack with everything. It's a bit ambitious. We could also just use Mage Duel to kill Spectre and attack for 4 in the air and leave this back. That might be a little bit better. Leave 10 the pests up in case they have something. I'm going to play this on... I guess I'll play it on Colony. Because if I have to sacrifice it because in response, I would rather use 10 the pests on Colony. Again, they can get us with that same 1 mana trick here. +2, -2. But I think I would rather just have Colony in play. Or sorry, Spectre of the Fens in play. Okay, awesome. Well, let's go ahead and attack. I am going to attack with the Colony. I don't care if they block with their 3/3. Happy to trade off here. This is really the only thing that's potentially an issue. And if they start sacking pests to it, it is going to get pretty big. Totally happy to let them trade off here. And if not, we get in for extra damage. Nice. End the turn. In a real pinch, we can play Baleful Mastery, but letting your opponent draw an extra card is really bad in general. We could also just sack the Colony right now for 3 pests, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I would rather do what we said and wait till I have 6 mana, play the Woe Eater, hold up 10 the pests in case they kill Woe Eater, and then we can make 7 pests. I mean, 7 pests on this board, they're going to have troubles dealing with. I guess if we draw another land and we hit them for 4 in the air, we can just kill them with Spectre. Again, I think our average card quality is higher because we were able to stay open in the draft. I don't think Novice Dissector is a card you really want to put in your deck. Silverquill Command is very good. And this might be a situation where our opponent first picked Command and then just picked every black and white card they could find and ended up with an okay deck. But yeah, we're not really worried about this attack here. We'll just let them hit us. Another 2/3, yeah. Promising Dusk Mage, also not a card you're super excited to have in your deck. Silverquill Apprentice is decent, though. That's a nice 2 mana card in black-white. I don't take it super highly because it is 2 colors, but that's a card you do want in your deck if you are Silverquill. All right, well, like we said, we're going to attack for 4 in the air. They don't have any flyers. And then we're going to activate Spectre to get them for the last 2. Jeez, even if we drew these cards together, we still didn't get to play Tend the Pests. All right. Well, that is our 3rd win. I don't really count the first one because our opponent conceded on turn 2, which does happen more than it should. But certainly happy for the gems. Again, we could totally run bad here and go 3-3. Something that could happen. We haven't come across too much difficulty yet, but eventually we will. There are really, really good drafters drafting in quick drafts, drafting in premier drafts. You will come across people that know what they're doing and have nice decks. And when you do, and if you win or if you lose to them, you can always learn a lesson. So 2 mana to start with, a couple things to play early. We have the 2 mana, 3 mana combo that makes opponents concede. So we're definitely going to keep this hand. Nice to be able to play Campus on turn 1 when we're doing nothing, and we drew our 3rd land. This is great. I mean, we could lose this game if we never drew a 3rd land. That happens, right? Very, very high variance game. So, ooh. Quandrix Apprentice is a really good card. I want that thing dead as soon as I can get it dead. Opponent drawing extra lands pretty much every turn means they'll never run out of mana, and that's really important to blue-green. So I'm just going to threaten them. I'm going to play a 2-2 with lifelink. My opponent is more incentivized to block a creature with lifelink. And even if they don't, I'm going to build up a little life buffer. It's also going to activate my Blood Researcher. Now, this card is really good, and they're attacking, and our card is much worse than theirs. So do they have Arcane Subtraction? I'm not going to block here. I don't want them to just kill my thing if they give it -4/-0. And if they play no creatures, here it is. The combo. There is some thought to playing Field Trip and ramping up into Leyline Invocation or Witherbloom Pledge Mage. But, I mean, if our opponent has a bit of a slow start, this is going to be great. And they missed their land drop there. I imagine this is going to be Arcane Subtraction so that we don't gain any life. But if they don't have it here, we again are going to have a very powerful start. Yeah. Decent play from the opponent. I think if I was playing, I would have just played this last turn. Missing their 3rd land drop I don't think was worth holding up the trick. I think it would have been better for them to try and draw a land last turn. They would have potentially seen more cards. All right, well, play land number 4. Opponent with 2 very good 2-drops. They're stuck on land, which is unfortunate for them. I wonder if we attack with the Blood Researcher, try and kill one of these. We could also pretend to have a combat trick ourselves. We could play Field Trip, get a forest, learn, but strand a mana. We could play Hunt for Specimens plus nothing. I think we just attack with Leech Fanatic, try and grow our Blood Researcher. I mean, 3/3 Menace is no joke against what they have. Totally happy if they take the damage, totally happy if they block. And now we're going to play Field Trip. I want to get to some of my more expensive spells as soon as I can. So we'll go Field Trip, find a forest. And yeah, I think just having creatures in general is going to be good. There are more flyers in blue-green than in black-green. This is a decent removal spell. We don't have any removal spells in hand, but they're a little bit slow. We could just get another creature. Maybe we do just get our flyer here. Just to pressure the opponent's life total even more. There was some thought to getting the pest summoning to get 2/1/1s, start sacking them to Woe Eater, grow the Blood Researcher, but I feel like in general, just having this 2/1 flyer is going to be better. If they want to block, they can kill our 3/3. So I think our plan is just going to be to attack with a 2/2, see what happens, and then probably play a 6/6 this turn. Unless we want to play this 5/5, and that can help grow this. Lots to do in this deck. Very happy with how this deck turned out. Let's go ahead and attack them for 2. See if we can make our Blood Researcher a little bigger. Nice. And I think we just use as much mana as we can. We're going to make a 6/6 here. There is some consideration that our opponent is blue-green, and there are ways to bounce tokens. So maybe we just play this creature first. This is also going to help us grow our Blood Researcher bigger, faster. Every time we play an instant or sorcery, it's going to make this one bigger. We're definitely going to start attacking with this next turn. And if they want to bounce this card, return it to our hand or put it in our library or something, that's better than for us than them getting rid of our token. So, well, opponent definitely making a show of it. I'm glad they didn't concede. This is exactly what happened in our first match, except the opponent is slowly digging themselves out of trouble. And I mean, they're still at 16. They are not that far behind. So I don't think you should concede as often as some people do. That being said, we are still going to try and kill them as fast as we can. Let's go ahead and throw down a Hunt for Specimens, grow our Blood Researcher. And we just want as many ways to interact with the board as possible. We have a fair number of creatures at this point, so I think we'll take the removal spell here, just in case they play something really big that's hard for us to deal with. I don't plan on playing this card because I don't want them to draw extra cards, but if they play something horrifically massive, I will definitely play it. All right, smashing in with everything here. Even if they have a 1 mana +2/+2 that kills Blood Researcher, I'm okay with that. I'm just going to deal a ton of damage to them. Gain life, make this a 6/6. And yeah, we'll drop the big boy here. We're going to gain life off of the pest we sack. Even if they're able to kill this, we still have a million threats in play. I think our opponent's deck looks quite good. Field Trip, Arcane Subtraction, nice ways to learn. Zimone is very good. Quandrix Apprentice is very good. They've been able to recover on lands. They have a lot of cards in hand. Some nice lessons that they've found. So this is a nice blue-green deck. I think they would probably have like a Bookworm or a Leyline Invocation, something big they want to play to try and block with. Oh, Decisive Denial? Sure. Unfortunate that they're only able to fight the 1/1 here, which is going to make our Blood Researcher bigger. But it does make it so we have to sack something real to the Woe Eater. All right, how does our turn go? We play Introduction to Annihilation, kill the Apprentice. They block, gain 2 life. Seems kind of bad. I think I do want the 7/6 in play. So I'm going to sacrifice the 2/2 here. There is some thought to just making them discard a card and us draw an extra card. Ooh, Tend the Pests. Really nice if they try to kill something. So I'm going to play a 4 mana card so I can leave Tend the Pests up this turn. And let's go ahead and just smash in with everything and see what happens. Our creatures are so big, I don't care if they multi-block. We're going to deal a ton of damage to them. They have to block at least each creature once, and this has Menace, so yeah, they have to block this with 2 things. Which is why Menace is sweet. This card is really good if you can get enough ways to trigger life gain. Yeah, I mean, I would rather kill the card that draws them cards. Put a land into play, sure. That's probably a fine time to concede. We're going to have 3 massive attackers in play that can all kill them. So, nice job on the blocks. And then, yeah, I mean, they almost recovered. I think it was totally fine the way they played that game. They got a little bit stuck on mana, but then they were able to recover. And who knows, they could have had something really good there that beat us. Let's keep it going. We've won 3 games fairly, and that first match that our opponent conceded right away. But yeah, I think the deck is working good. I think it has high card quality, even though we had to sacrifice a couple cards in the picks there. That Master Symmetrist, the 4-mana 4/4 reach. I think our deck in general is really good. I am happy that we took the Eliminate over the Master Symmetrist. Tend the Pest plus Witherbloom Pledge Mage. Sure. Eventually we do want to use this, but if we don't have to, that's totally fine too. I think our plan here is just to play Field Trip and go find a creature to play, because although this hand is fine, we don't really have too many creatures, and limited draft is about playing creatures and smashing them into each other. So I'm going to draw an extra forest off a Field Trip, so I'm going to play my second Swamp first. And then Field Trip. Find this. We're going to have 5 mana next turn, 6 mana the turn after. We want to play Witherbloom Pledge Mage next turn for 5, because we want to play the most expensive spell we can. So then we're going to have 6, and we can make a 4/4 with Fractal Summoning. Yeah, that seems fine. Make a big old Fractal. Opponent playing blue-green. They might actually have some massive creatures too. Ooh, Cultivate. So opponent also ramping up like us. I'm not sure if Cultivate or Field Trip is better. I think if you have good lessons, Field Trip is better. But if you have splash colors, like they're playing blue-green with a red, Cultivate is probably better. Doesn't really matter. Both cards are good. I would play both in the same deck too. I think in this deck, I would rather have Field Trip because we have a lot of lessons to go get. But Cultivate, it kind of fills the same role as Field Trip. Oh, they play both. Awesome. Opponent knows what's up. And they've got quite a bit of mana here. A little bit concerned about what they're going to do. It's also a little bit concerning that they haven't played any creatures or anything yet. Okay, Introduction to Annihilation. Which is probably going to hit our Witherbloom Pledge Mage. So, I mean, do we want to leave 2 mana up to make 5 pests? Or do we just play a 4/4 Fractal and let them give us another card? Well, we're definitely going to attack first. And while we're attacking, we'll figure out what to do. Yeah, Arcane Subtraction is fine. Ooh, do we play Tend the Pest now? No, I don't think so. This is fine. They can learn another card. And they get an Elemental Summoning, which we're going to kill with Eliminate. So, totally fine with this exchange. I'm going to make a 4/4 Fractal here. Try and keep as many threats in play as possible. If they play a 4/4, we can kill it with Eliminate. They're likely to exile our Witherbloom Pledge Mage, but we're going to get a draw card, which is really nice because we want to draw some more spells. Ooh, Quandrix. Oh, they didn't play it. So we're going to be able to hold up Tend the Pests. That's awesome. This is a very good card. I think this opponent's deck is looking very nice, actually. They did some ramping. This is a nice creature that ramps. They've got some nice lessons to play. Yeah, nice blue-green deck from the opponent here. Vortex Runner. This card can be annoying. I mean, it's 3 mana 3/3 that we can never block. Probably something we're going to have to Mage Duel. I guess we could also play Eliminate on this card. Are there any 1 mana blue cards we have to worry about? I think Opt is the only one, and that just draws them a card. So I think what we'll do is we'll attack, and we'll see how they block, And if they try to double block something, we can get them with the eliminate. And if they don't, they take a bunch of damage. And we can even tend the pests to get a bunch of 1/1s later. I think that's nice. Can we play all these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, we can play all of our cards. This is great. Let's go ahead and Mage Duel. And I think I want to Mage Duel the Vortex Runner. I think that card is just going to be more annoying. Both of our creatures are bigger than... Ooh, but we can't kill Cultivator with Eliminate. Maybe we do just get rid of Cultivator here. I mean, we're not really worried about the opponent attacking us because they're at such a low life total. But that is an interesting situation there. I think because the Eliminate will only work on Vortex Runner and not Cultivator, it's better to Mage Duel Cultivator there. If we were at a low life total, I would definitely have killed Vortex Runner first. Alright, so do we want the card or do we want 5 cards? I think we're going to play Tend the Pest on Witherbloom Pledge Mage here. And get just a ton of value off of this Pledge Mage. Opponent unlikely to attack. And now, do we just attack with everything? Worst case scenario, they eat 2 pests and take 7 damage. Best case scenario, they double block the Fractal. We kill Vortex Runner with Eliminate. They take 5. Yeah, that's probably fine. I don't mind throwing away a couple pests here. Normally I wouldn't attack with all of these, but because they're at such a low life total and they have a bunch of cards they're going to play, I want to try and get them as close to dead as I possibly can. Yeah, that seems fine. If they have some way to thwart my spell, I want to kill the Vortex Runner first. And we're going to target Vortex Runner. See if we can blow them out. I think it's totally fine for the opponent to double block there. If I don't have Eliminate, they then have a 2/2 left over to block all my 1/1s. Let's keep putting the pressure on. And again, because I have a Scry land and I want to play spells, I'm just going to play all my lands. I don't really care about bluffing here. The opponent is on the back foot anyway. There are some situations where, I mean, it is okay to keep a land in your hand to bluff having something to play, but in this situation, I would rather just be able to scry and play cards and keep the pressure on. Opponent under a lot of pressure here. They have to have ways to get rid of 3 of our creatures. Get rid of the 4/4, get rid of the 2/2, get rid of one of these 1/1s. They still take 4 damage next turn. Oof. Opponent did not play Elemental Summoning. That's a little weird. I mean, I'm going to attack them anyway, but I'm a little scared about what they could possibly have here. I can't think of an instant that wrecks us here, though. I mean, there's Burying Books, but that only gets rid of this Fractal, and they take 7. Oh. 4 damage, divided as you choose among any number of targets. Tap 2 permanents. Create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. Draw 2 cards. So that is really good. I feel like they should have played that after we'd already declared attacks because, I mean, obviously they kill a bunch of tokens, tap our guys, but yeah, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, sure, why not? Wow. Well, no attacks. Nice job. This card is crazy. I think that card is great. And they splashed red for it. That's awesome. I mean, I hope they feel accomplished because that is awesome. So if your opponent holds up 9 mana and doesn't play the elemental summoning you know they have, or any of their other 6 cards, it might be a Magma Opus. Just be careful, because they might get you with that. Okay, there goes Spectre. Spectre will end the game for us. Even if we draw it a couple turns from now, that's okay with me. Quandrix Pledge Mage is a bit of a beating. So is the Elemental. So I am actually going to attack with the 4/4 here. I'm fine if they block with this or with this. Or if I just eat this. There is some benefit to playing Blood Researcher, attacking with the Pest. And if they block it, we get a 3/3. But they have a lot of cards in hand. I don't want to throw my resources away prematurely. So I'm just going to attack with the 4/4 here. Try and get as many creatures out of play as possible, and then play a menace creature that will hopefully kill them. Yeah, this is fine. 4/4 for 4/4 is fine. Play my Blood Researcher. And hey, look, I have enough mana left over to scry as well. Really happy I played my extra mana rather than holding it in hand. I mean, I could have played it this turn too, but you never know. All right, so opponent currently with 3 creatures in play. 4 creatures. Oof. Magma Opus, what a beating. Four coming in. I mean, we're not worried about taking damage. I don't need to scry because I know Spectre's coming next. I am not going to block. There is some thought to blocking with the 1/1, so this becomes a 3/3. And then if I attack and they double block it, I can at least kill the Vortex Runner. But I can do that next turn as well. All right, I feel like they have some way to kill Spectre. But if they don't, that's going to be really good for us next turn. No attacks, because we'll be able to attack for 2, drain them for 2. This will be a bit bigger. I feel like they probably just kill this turn. If they don't, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Let's see what they do here. Also note that this can be an 8/8 now. Opponent can tap 10 mana and make an 8/8, which I am worried about. Yeah, and I like this. I like that the opponent is getting aggressive. They're obviously going to lose in the long run if they can't kill Spectre. So why not try and deal as much damage to us as possible and see if they can cobble together enough cards to win? Like, I think that's what you have to do in this situation. Maybe they have a second Magma Opus. They'll just really wreck us. All right. Well, we're going to block. Try to grow our Blood Researcher a bit. This will be a 4/4, which means even if they block with both of these, we can kill their 4/4. Leech Fanatic can get in. It just depends what they have. Burying Books. Yeah, nice. I mean, I do like what the opponent is doing here. I think they're playing very well. 7/6 is a decent blocker. The problem is, yeah, we have no way to get this through. They can block this and take 3, or they can double block this and take 2, and that doesn't help us in either case. So let's just play a 7/6 and see what happens. No attacks, because this can be a 4/4. I feel like maybe we just sacrifice Demogoth Warrior, gain 2 life, make this a 4/4, draw a card, play Spectre. There's a lot going on in this game. 3 to me. I mean, this is obviously a big blocker, but it's going to start eating our creatures, and that's an easy way to lose a game like this, where it's all about managing resources. Whoa! 12-12. I feel like we do need to gain some life here. And try and draw some extra cards to get rid of their massive creatures. Okay. Again, opponent no cards in hand. They're doing a really good job managing their resources. And we're going to play Spectre for the 3rd time and see if it's going to be enough. But I mean, the opponent doing a really good job of whittling us down here. So it all comes down to what they draw. They're definitely going to get a scry. See what happens. I mean, all we need to do is untap with Spectre, and I think we win. Because they need to leave 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures back. 5. Yeah. They need 3 creatures, 4 creatures back on blocks. We definitely take 3 down to 16. I have to block the Fractal, I think. This is going to be an 8-8. Oh, nice. Nice. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. A 96 power Vortex Runner. That's amazing. That was awesome. I'm not even mad. Like, good game, opponent. I don't know if Exponential Growth is like a good card in particular, but in this situation with Vortex Runner, yeah, 96 power. That was amazing. Let's keep going. Yeah, I took a screenshot of that so I could show all my friends. 96-3 unblockable. All right, well, we have something to do at turn 2, something to do on turn 3, or turn 3. Pennant. I don't know if this card's great in our deck. I haven't really found a situation where I would really want this. Maybe that last game, give something trample, but we're definitely going to play it here. I mean, it's the only thing we have to do with 1 mana. And then we're going to play Hunt for Specimens. And I think we get a creature with it. And I think we're going to get the Pest Summoning, actually. So we have lots of targets for our Pennant. I mean, Inkling Summoning is also good. We don't currently have a 2nd black mana. So I think playing Pest Summoning is just going to be better than anything else here. We can start equipping our pests and sending in with those. Ooh, opponent also on the Hunt for Specimens game. What are they hunting for? Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Well, too bad, Team Pennant. I guess we're not going to get a chance to play with you. I think because the opponent's next turn is probably killing our thing and making a 1/1, I'm just going to play Field Trip and try and draw some extra lands for my expensive spells. Seems like a pretty slow game so far. I do want Inkling Summoning, but we don't have a 2nd black source yet, which is a bit of a liability. But even that said, like, we have a bunch of creatures. I don't mind grabbing this, but we already have Mage Hunter's Onslaught. What could they reasonably play on turn 3 anyway? Okay, I think we're just going to get the flyer. Even though we can't play it right away. And then no attacks from us. If the opponent wants to spend their entire turn 3 destroying our Pennant, that's fine with me. I don't really see a reason to trade there, especially because we get extra value off of the life gain later with Blood Researcher. And we have Demogoth Titan and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad, but we're going to play our 5/5 and hope for the best. This also works well with Blood Researcher. If we're able to draw a land, we can play Blood Researcher, then Pest Summoning, which triggers this and makes us a 3/3 right away, plus a whole bunch of pests. Again, I think you just play the most expensive card you have, unless you have a good reason not to. Oh, 2-mana Groff. Interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily worth it, but if the opponent has nothing else to do this turn, that's fine. Well, there's our second black source. I am going to play the Researcher first. I don't think I'm attacking with Pledge Mage. I don't think it's worth trading here. I don't want to run out of resources, especially if the opponent has more cards than us, so I'll just play Blood Researcher. And pass the turn. This is one of those games, I think, where you definitely need to be a little bit more patient. Kind of sad that the opponent played Containment Breach. Having access to Team Pennant to make our Witherbloom Pledge Mage bigger than their Groff would have been really nice. But that does show the power of things like Containment Breach. Even though this card isn't going to be played that often, having it in your sideboard and sometimes being able to play it against your opponent who plays turn 1 Team Pennant is kind of really nice. Awesome. Well, we can play Inkling Summoning and Pest Summoning this turn. Make a giant Blood Researcher. They're going to have to sacrifice their Pest. I want to be kind of careful because I don't want my opponent to make me discard one of my good removal spells. Maybe that's a reason just to play Mage Hunter's Onslaught and kill Woe Eater this turn, so they can't sacrifice it. That's probably for the best, right? I mean, my hand is very good. I don't want them to sacrifice Woe Eater and make me discard. And here maybe I think Pledge Mage is going to be really good with Blood Researcher. I guess I don't really mind trading it off, but again, they've got quite a few cards in hand. I don't want to waste my resources yet. I'm going to be a little bit more patient. Having Pledge Mage in play makes the Blood Researcher much better because every spell I have is going to grow it. Can be a little bit patient here. They also play Pledge Mage, that's fine. Oh, yes. A little bit of insurance in case they kill Pledge Mage or Blood Researcher. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I think what we're going to do is play a flyer. Oh, but then we can't play Tend the Pests. Do we just play Pest Summoning? A little sad. Do we play Baleful Mastery and hold up Tend the Pests? Not really sure what to do here. I think I'll just play Pest Summoning. Get a bunch of blockers in play that can grow the Researcher. I still don't think I really want to attack here. I mean, it's a shame my opponent knows about this card, but... yeah, I mean, this does attack. Yeah. Sure. Let's play Inkling Summoning. I mean, even if they kill either of these creatures without Tend the Pests around, it's still them having to spend a removal spell from their hand. It just feels bad if they kill a creature that's big while we have this in our hand and can't play it. Okay. I'm happy with what we did. We can start chipping in with our flyer. They don't have any reach creatures. And we can leave up all our sweet spells. I like that. I'm going to start with Field Trip. Gain a life, make that bigger. Play a forest. Draw a giant creature? Does that matter here? What if they play something we can't beat? I mean, right now this is a 5/5. That's not even that big in play, so I guess we get the insurance, Introduction to Annihilation. Combat. If I had mana up for Baleful Mastery, I would probably attack with the Blood Researcher and try and kill a bunch of stuff, but because I don't, I'll just attack for 2 in the air. Poke in for 2. We're going to leave 10 the pests up in case they try and kill one of our big creatures. And then next turn, if everything's the same, I'll attack with the Menace creature and see if we can get them with the Baleful Mastery. Ooh, and an Eliminate. Okay, so we're definitely attacking with Blood Researcher this turn. I want to be able to play both of these if I have to, which is 6 mana, so I'm not going to play anything before. And we'll just go to attacks and see if we can get them with the Menace. I think if I was my opponent in this situation, you probably just let this creature through. I think the potential for you to get blown out by multiple spells and your opponent with 7 mana up is really big. If everything goes south, I want to be able to kill 2 things, which would be these 2. Done. And then I'm going to go ahead and play Baleful Mastery on Witherbloom Pledge Mage. That seemed good. Don't want them drawing an extra card. Gain a life. Make a 7/7. Exile their card. Do we just be satisfied with that? I mean, they didn't respond. What if they have something really good in play? This is one of those situations where we're going to get to trade 1 card for 2. Are we just happy if this happens? I think we're okay. Our board is much better. I don't want to get blown out. If I play Eliminate and then they play the 2 mana Death Touch, we lose anyway. So let's just see if they go for this trade here. They're gonna scry. See what's coming up. 1 to the bottom. Whew. Kind of feels bad, but we're gonna have the biggest creature. We're gonna have a 2/1 flyer. We're gonna have a removal spell. Maybe 2 removal spells. I think you just let this happen. Even though we could potentially overcome it, I think we're just gonna let it happen and then end the turn. In general, that seems like it's bad because we could have done something about it, but we traded 1 card for 2 cards, and that's good in my books. That's good enough. We don't have to be super greedy. And now we can attack with the 5/5. And we have the Eliminate in hand in case they do something funky with their small creatures. So I think I'm happy making these exchanges here. And we're going to slowly beat them down. We're going to start scrying so that we can draw better cards. And yeah, I think things are looking okay. Opponent also on the scry draw train. If they attack, we'll block. Okay. What? I don't know why my opponent is playing this card. I don't think that card's particularly good. If you had a whole bunch of 1/1 counter effects in your deck, maybe, but I feel like this card's not great. I mean, that's a 1/1 counter effect, but it's not really even that good. Pass. Scry. Don't want to land. Got lots of lands. Go to my turn. Draw. Draw land anyway. Well, that's still value. I didn't draw 2 lands in a row. I think we attack with the 5/5, and if they double block, we kill Leech Fanatic with Eliminate and try and blow them out, as they say. Yep, that's fine. It's fine. Even if the opponent plays +2/+2, it's still going to be a 1-for-1 all around. Let's see if they have something here. No, Professor's Warning, Indestructible. Okay, yeah. I mean, we got a little bit wrecked there. But we spent 1 card. They spent 1 card. We trade 1 card for 1 card. I guess that's okay. We still have our flyer in the air. We still kill their thing. Yeah, I think this is fine. And who knows? Maybe our opponent had Professor's Warning in hand before, and we're happy we saved the Eliminate. So, again, it feels bad that we got blown out, but really we traded 2 cards for their 2 cards, so we all kind of came out even. We're going to scry. Get rid of our 3rd land in a row. Nice. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, we're beating them down in the air. Even if they attack us, it's not great because we have some little blockers, so I'm okay with this for right now. If our opponent has something really good in hand, we could fall behind, which is why we have the Introduction to Annihilation saved, just in case. I'm not really worried about this 5/5 right now. Kind of worried about the 2/2 gaining life, so if they attack with that, I am going to block with basically everything, trying to kill that card. Because I do not want my opponent gaining life. Maybe I just block with the 2/2. 5 to me is fine. Because now I can attack with my 2/2. Scry. Get rid of our 4th land. Draw another land. Awesome. I'm still going to run these out. I want to be able to play Annihilation and Scry in the same turn. And now we can attack with our Leech Fanatic and try and put more pressure on the opponent. If they let it through, we gain some life. If they don't, that's 1 less creature for us to worry about. We gain life, they don't. And we're slowly beating them down, as they say. A little bit worried about them playing the discard too, but I don't think that... I mean, it's an uncommon. Not many people play it. And again, I would rather, at this point, have more lands in hand. Although if I draw another land, I will probably keep it in my hand. Okay, Cram Session is good for them. That's going to buy them a bit of time and draw them something useful to do. Environmental Science, I think they're doing this just to gain life. They certainly don't need the land unless they have a splash color that they haven't been able to play yet, which would be really bad for us. Oh, white. White, black. So maybe the white-black dragon, which I will maybe kill. I found the white-black dragon to be a little bit underwhelming. Obviously, it's a great card. You should take it whenever you see it, but a lot of the time, it's just a 4/5 flyer. But opponent definitely smacking us with their big creature. Spectre, that's a nice way to win a race. We will definitely take Spectre here. Go to my turn. Go to attacks. Attack with our 2/1. Just keep beating them down, and maybe now we start blocking with the 1/1s. The reason I'm not playing Introduction to Annihilation is I don't want them to draw another card. I don't want them to play something better than this that I can't kill. So I'm just going to do I'm just going to keep it in hand. I can actually activate Spectre this turn. And draining my opponent for 2 every turn seems pretty good. I mean, they could have removal spells in hand that they didn't want to use on a 2-1, which is entirely likely. But we'll see what happens here. I mean, they got their splash color. I'm guessing it's for a black-white dragon, but I'm not really sure. Maybe that's why they have Tezzeret's Gambit, is if they put a bunch of counters on their creatures. Oh, Extus. Okay. Every time you cast a spell, return a non-legendary creature to your graveyard or hand. That's an easy way for us to lose, so definitely want to kill that if we can. Yeah. Maybe I do block now. Just I don't want to go down too far, especially if they do something funky on my turn with creatures. Like, it's a bit of a tough situation because I feel like the opponent wouldn't play this knowing we have this unless they have some way to protect it, like Snakeskin Veil. Oh, Mortality Spear. Mortality Spear, get back something. Get back Woe Eater. I'm not really worried about Woe Eater. I'm really worried about Snakeskin Veil. But I feel like you just have to do your best. And this card will wreck us if it stays in play too long. Okay, so we were able to get rid of it. That's great. I'm glad this card's gone. That is a nice splash from the opponent. We don't actually have anything big enough to kill Witherbloom Pledgemage, which is a bit sad. So we'll just attack for 2. We're going to scry at the end of their turn. We don't want to take too much damage. Even if they play Woe Eater, they can't really do anything with it because they're going to have to sack stuff. But they do have a bunch of cards in hand. I don't know. This is an interesting match. Yeah, Woe Eater. Maybe they sack Woe Eater with Tend the Pests. And someone will get to do that. I think because Extus is gone, I think I'm back on the take 5 plan. I want to be able to block Woe Eater more than anything, I think, here. Let's see if they play anything else. No. Okay, so they're going to have to sack something on their turn. We're actually fine keeping a land in hand here. Ooh, we have our own Woe Eater. Yeah, that's probably good enough. I mean, it lets us play Mage Duel. Draw. I mean, we could kind of get blown out by 9, 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could kind of get blown out if we play Mage Duel on something and they make 5 1/1s with it, but I mean, what are you going to do? We're just going to keep smashing in for 2. Again, going back to our card evaluations, 2 on Flyer, putting in a lot of work here, putting good pressure on the opponent. We'll play Woe Eater. We got a couple pests to sack. I'm even fine sacking this after it's blocked for 1 turn. Get a card out of their hand. I do want to play Mage Duel here. We're gonna see what happens. Did I kill their Woe Eater? Probably. I don't really want them to sack Woe Eater next turn, and I have to get rid of Tend the Pests, so I'll get rid of theirs so there's no sacrifice shenanigans going on. Because if I kill the Witherbloom Pledgemage, they're just going to sack this and I'll have to discard Tend the Pests. Infused. Oh. That's not good. Well, they're going to end up sacrificing something anyway. Huh. So I think we just play Tend the Pests, right? Either way, our creature's going to die, but this way we get a bunch of pests. Their thing is still going to be in play. I think that's fine. Oh, shoot. We had to play this in response. That's sad. That was a mistake. I apologize for the misplay there. We definitely wanted to play Tend the Pest there on the stack. I shouldn't have waited so long. In Paper Magic, you can respond to your own spells, but on Arena, they pass through it unless you're in full control. So I apologize for that. It was the one thing I've been trying to do the whole time, and I punted on it, which is kind of okay. Okay, yeah, okay. So I think we probably lose this game now because of that punt. Yeah, that was a big oops from me. But hey, Magic's tough. Sometimes that happens. A little bit disappointed in myself there, but that's okay. And now we are really far behind. We're going to take 12 here. I think we just lose. That's so sad. I mean, we would have had 7 tokens. They probably still would have had 7 tokens. But we'd be in a token battle and we'd have a flyer. So a little bit sad that that happened. We'll just pass the turn. You guys know I don't really like conceding. If my opponent is going to beat me this turn, that's totally fine. We'll let them beat me. And I'll just click through it. I mean, if all they do is swing with everything, I won't block. I'm not going to make a show of that. They definitely beat us here, so... Oh man, that feels so bad. Well, it's good to know that our deck could have done okay if I played a little bit better. So hey, the deck is good. I mean, this is a video about drafting well, not a video about playing well. So. All right. Well, we are 4-2. Still no guarantee of us winning that last game. If our opponent had 7 tokens and we had 7 tokens, I still don't know if we win that game, but we're not going to dwell on it. This is a decent hand. We've got a removal spell, something to do early, probably make a 2-1, and something to do a little bit later. 3 lands. This is great. We're going to play Team Pennant and see if the opponent finds a artifact removal lesson right away again, or if they're going to let us have our fun and play Team Pennant on our Scourge Colony. That's probably what I do with my turn. I can't really see holding up Umbral Juke. Oh, okay, Lash of Malice. Yeah, that's fine. Now we hold up Umbral Juke. We're not going to make them sacrifice this 1-1. We're just going to make the 2-1 at the end of their turn. And we can actually make it a 3-2 with Vigilance and Trample and Flying. And have Eliminate held up. That's pretty sweet. So opponent's coming out very quickly. So far, very high quality cards from the opponent. Lash of Malice, Ingredient. I think basic Conjuration is fine. Go find a creature. I mean, I would rather have a summoning that just is a creature on its own, but I think that card's fine. Make a 2-1. Again, always without the second black source. We are going to equip our token and smash for 3 in the air. Hold up Eliminate in case something funky happens. Yeah, I think this card is fine, but again, I would rather just have like Fractal Summoning in most situations. Get the card right away. Eliminate does not kill their Spectre, but it does trade with our token, which we're totally fine to have happen. Drew a Forest. Not great, but that's okay. And we will offer the trade here. I'm totally fine trading our 3-2 for their 2-3. Hopefully they don't have a pump spell. Yeah, it's fine. Play 5-5. Our opponent with more resources than us, more cards in hand, which is a little bit disturbing, but we're going to have a 6-6 Trample Vigilance, which is pretty sweet. Assuming they don't kill it this turn. Okay, Conjuration. Go and find a creature spell. Or, oh, that's unfortunate for the opponent. They didn't find any creatures. That's the other thing about these kind of cards in Strixhaven specifically. You are playing a lot of non-creature cards, and it's more likely in this set that you don't find what you're looking for. Opponent didn't attack with their 1-1. It's a little bit disturbing. Maybe they just forgot, but maybe they just want to... Ooh. Maybe they're going to try and block and infuse with Vitality. Or maybe they want to just draw the card off of the 2-1. Yeah. So they get got this time, unless they have Professor's Warning. Nice. So 6 damage to them. We get this spell out of their hand. They don't gain the life from it. They will get to draw a card off of Unwilling Ingredient, but yeah, very happy to have the Eliminate there. Until they play a 7-7. But that's not going to be great for them, because we can Onslaught that. Smash in for 6. Again, I'm just going to play out my lands. Like, there are cards that are expensive in my deck. I might want to play more than one spell in a turn. I do hold lands. Like, if my next card is a land, I won't play it. But that also kind of telegraphs to the opponent that it's a land if I don't play it. Oh, nice. Alright, draw a creature. Well, I'll just pass the turn, I guess. I mean, if I draw something that I need 8 mana for next turn, I can just play this land next turn, so... Hoping they're full of lands too, but oh no. This is probably one of the worst cards they could have played for us, because they are going to start to gain life and close the gap. We do not want them gaining life. So we need to draw something here. I mean, any creature gets us infused with Vitality, which is pretty nice to kill the Karok, but yeah, we might be in a bit of trouble here if we cannot draw a creature. Our deck is a little bit creature light, so... Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so Pledge Mage comes down, and we can pretend to not have enough mana for the Pennant, which means we still get to leave Infuse with Vitality up in case they try and do something funky with their Karok, which we're definitely blocking. Nice. All right, well, let's suit up. Let's smash in. Vigilance and Trample here is going to be super good. Makes it so that their lifelinker isn't as good. Nice. Leech Fanatic comes down. And yeah, I'm just going to bluff having 2 spells. I mean, obviously we have 1 spell. But again, there's nothing I'll want to play next turn. All right. There's another win. Our deck is really sweet. Our opponents have been very good. Even the comments I made before about, in general, you're going to find higher skilled opponents in Premier Draft. That's not always true. There are tons of people that don't want to pay for Premier Draft, and they just play Quick Draft, and they have fun with that, and they're very, very good at Draft. So it's not a rule. I think in general, you might run into some clunkier decks in Quick Draft, but that's also a factor of the bot drafts can be a little weird for people. This opening hand is fine. It's a little weird to not have a forest, but Leyline Invocation and Mage Duel are cards I want to play on turn like 4, 5, or 6. I have something to do in turn 2 right away, so, and something to do if I draw another swamp. So I think this is totally fine. By the time I want to play Leyline Invocation, I will hopefully have drawn a forest. And if not, that happens. Sometimes you draw them right away, which is great. Not always. Here I just want creatures to play. So I think, again, we're going to start with our 2/1 flyer. It seems to be the most threatening card I can play on turn 3 for a lot of decks. This opponent also knowing what's up with the hunt, and they have pest summoning. We'll see if that works out better for them than just playing a 2/1 flyer. I mean, we're going to be able to attack over. They're going to have more things in play to sacrifice to their Woe Eaters and etc. 1 to us, not a big deal. We're going to be dealing 2 back to them. And we do like to have our pests in play for other things. Let's go ahead and smash in for 2. I do want to play something that can block these guys. So let's go ahead and play the Spectre here. It also uses all of our mana, which is really nice. They might kill it, but we're not even really close to activating this ability. Ooh, Woe Eater. 5 mana. Opponent is most likely to start sacrificing pests and attacking us for 7. I think that's okay with me. I'm just going to attack for 4 in the air and then play my 5/5. If they want to sacrifice pests, that's fine. If they want to sacrifice Woe Eater, that's fine. We will discard maybe Invocation, given how many creatures we have. Yeah, I'll block. I think you want to keep your life total pretty high. It's Strixhaven. There's some thought to double blocking, but again, I don't want to get blown out by a spell, so I'll just do this. They can only sack so many creatures before they have to get rid of this. But they are doing a good job of making more, so maybe we... I don't know. I mean, now we can play Leyline Invocation and use Mage Duel to kill their Woe Eater next turn. That's pretty nice. I kind of don't want to take a ton of damage from them. We can also just start getting them for 2 every turn. Huh. I think this turn we do attack still on the fly, trying to get their health down as far as possible. If they attack with Woe Eater, we can block with Invocation. So I'm not sure if they're going to want to do that or not. And if they have a spell to kill this, that's fine. It's still just a 1-for-1. But single blocking, way better than double blocking here. Yeah, totally fine with this. What happens if they play the +2, or sorry, the 2 mana Death Touch, bring this thing back? Gain 2 life, I'm kind of okay with that. If they sack it for 7 tokens, I'm kind of okay with that. If they play a spell to kill this, I guess that's still fine. We could also just take 7 and use Mage Duel, but let's go ahead and block. Happy with that exchange. Opponent trying to outdo us with number of creatures, but we are going to be able to gain 2 life, lose 2 life a lot of the time, and we're killing them with flyers. Colony does have reach. Opponent at 6, so it's not close to being a 4/4. We are on 6 mana, which is a bit awkward. We're probably just playing another 5/5 this turn to block with. So I think we do attack with the Inkling, just so that this thing doesn't become a 4/4 and blank the Spectre. I'm fine trading the 2/1 for their 2/2 reach creature here. Yeah, that's fine. Play another Pledge Mage. Leave up our Snakeskin Veil mana, even though we don't have it. And we definitely want to block the Lifelinker if we can. Ooh, we can make another 2/1 flyer. That's kind of nice. I think this turn we don't play anything. This is nice at instant speed. This is nice at instant speed. I think we just hit for 2. And if nothing else changes, we can gain 2 life and they lose 2 life. I think that's probably the best here. Just play more patiently. See what they do. 1 to us. I am not blocking. I feel like they're attacking because they want to either draw a card or give this death touch, so happy to take 1 damage and not let them draw a card there. And yeah, we'll just start to drain them out here. 7 mana. I don't think that really changes what we're doing. So we'll attack for 2. At some point, they are going to be able to gain life just if they chump attack with the Carrack, so something to keep in mind. But the opponent deciding that that is not what they want to do. And we go to, is that 5 wins? Six wins. Awesome. 6 and 2. So we made our money back. Even if we lose the next game, we got more gems out of this draft than we would have had to pay. Obviously, if we had played Premier Draft, like I mentioned, we would have gotten that if we got 5 wins or kind of even 4 wins. So Quick Draft, not necessarily where your value's at, but it does cost less and it gives you more time to make picks during your draft. So that can be worthwhile when you're learning how to play. Let's go ahead and see if we can get to the 7 and 2. We did have one opponent concede almost immediately in game 1, which wasn't great. And we also punted against our opponent in game, well, 2 games ago. So yeah, I mean, so far I think this draft's going well. You can't play perfect all the time. But we just try and live and learn. Hand seems okay. Lots of mana. Something to do in turn 2. Something to do in turn 4. 10 the Pests are a bane of existence. But maybe we'll actually get to use this game. I keep saying that, but we might actually get to use it. And that would be great. If not, it's totally fine too. I'm not sure if I like this card that much. I think it is decent in this deck, but haven't been super impressed. Nice. We're going to play 2 mana 2/2 into 3 mana 2/1 flying. Most likely. If the opponent attacks here, I think we block. We have lots to do. Ooh, and we want this card to die. So now we're going to block and play Umbral Juke just so that they have to sacrifice this. We'll do it at instant speed though. See what the opponent plays. Maybe they'll even play a card into this, trying to pump it up. Okay, well now we want to make them sacrifice the Blood Researcher. I'm going to be left with a dumb 3/2. I think this card is actually fine to put in your deck. Gaining the life actually matters a lot of the time. 3 mana 3/2 is not super exciting, but I think this card is fine. Not embarrassed to play a Springmane Servant. No blocks. Our flyer is worth more, especially if we get to 6 mana. 2 servants. We do have to be careful to preserve our life total here. Still not enough of a reason to block with our Spectre of the Fens, which once we get to 6 mana is going to be great. But I will trade off this Leech Fanatic for one of the servants. I don't want to take a bunch of damage from my opponent and lose to just random creature battles. Next turn, I'm going to play Leyline Invocation as a 6/6. Also another reason to trade off so that they don't have 2 creatures that can block mine. And then if we draw nothing, we can start using Spectre of the Fence to drain them out. Yeah, this is fine. Totally fine if they have a card here to save their thing. Not really worried about it. Let's see what our opponent does on 4. Hunt for specimens, okay. Let's see what they get. Experimental sciences. Ooh. Expanded Anatomy. Make their dude a 6 or 5/4. Well, Mage Hunter's Onslaught. Always happy to see that card. We're going to go ahead and attack for 2. Because we're not blocking with this card. And we're going to play a 6/6. Which should be big enough, assuming they don't have multiple things to pump their guy. If they do, and they use 2 cards to kill our 1, that's still fine. We'll be able to use Mage Hunter's Onslaught. A lot of Woe Eaters in this draft. Play our land. I am going to attack with this Fractal. I think I'm... Maybe we should just kill the Woe Eater now and attack for 6. They're going to hit us back for 5, which is a bit sad. Maybe we're just supposed to leave this on blocks and drain them out with the Spectre. What if they make us sacrifice our Tend the Pest, though? What will we do? Yeah, I think I'll just attack like this. Again, I'm trying to preserve my life total a little bit. There are some very high-powered cards in this set, and I found preserving your life total in this set to be really important, more so than other sets. In the Strixhaven set, compared to some other sets. There's just a lot of ways for you to die very quickly in this set. So he can make... They can make us discard Tend the Pests. Yeah, that's fine. I mean... Maybe we were supposed to play Mage Hunter's Onslaught on the 7/6 so they don't gain life, draw a card, discard a card. That probably would have been better. I still don't think we would have attacked, but it could have at least got rid of the 7/6. But I mean, even this thing is more scary, I think, than the 7/6. So not super impressed with the Woe Eater. I think it is a good card. It's just not a very high pick. I think where we took it was good. We didn't take it early. One of them wheeled, we didn't take it. Another one wheeled, and then I think we ended up taking it. We're like, fine, we'll play this card. Spectre's online. I don't want them gaining life if they play even Expanded Anatomy here, so I think I'm going to use Mage Hunter's Onslaught. Kill their lifelinker, and now I'm going to start to put pressure on them. Even if they want to suit up the Servant and hit us for 5, that still puts them relatively in danger, because we're still going to be able to attack with this next turn. It's a bit tough. Again, I do want to preserve my life total, but at least Spectre is gaining us some life as well. Kind of a tough spot, though. Opponent with a lot of resources, a little bit shy on lands, but they have a lot of things to play, and now we can't attack. Oh. Wow. Okay. Well, I think we play Mage Duel on the Pledge Mage, attack for 9. And hope for the best. I mean, we want to preserve our life total, but we also want to kill them as fast as we can, so... This will make it so the opponent can't attack unless they give it Vigilance, I guess. Which is probably a fine play here. Hit for 5. We go down to a low life total. That makes it a little bit sticky for us to try and attack. I'm also happy with the decision to play all my lands. If I draw one more, that means I can activate Spectre of the Fens more reliably. Like, I wish I had another land so I could do it this turn too. Okay, opponent just trying to play out as many blockers as they can. They can deal 5 damage to this, plus a trick. So I think we just be a little bit patient here. Attack for 2 in the air. Leave the 6/6 back on blockers. Not play our land because we don't have anything else to do, and we are going to hit our opponent for 2 life here. If I was close to getting to 12 mana, I might play out my lands so I could activate this twice in a turn, but we're pretty far away from that. So might as well threaten a spell in hand. And see what the opponent does here. I mean, we could certainly lose this game many, many ways. Leech Fanatic gains them a bit of life. They're going to make this a 4-4. Yeah, that's fine. Can't attack this turn. I mean, there's no way they attack here. Drain them down. So we're going to be able to put our opponent to 1. Mage Duel is actually really nice because we can kill the lifelinker before they get a chance to use it. Yeah, and a concession from the opponent. Right on. All right, and I think with that, we rank up. Good for us. Platinum tier 3. And we should have gotten to 7 there. Awesome. 7 wins, 950 gems. Again, that's more value than we put into it, so that's great for us. Black-green deck ended up being pretty sweet there. We started from the beginning of the draft staying open. I believe the thing we first picked was a Frost Trickster, and then we saw a bunch of green cards, some mediocre black cards. We weren't sure if green-black was going to be our colors or maybe green-blue. Even halfway through pack 2, we thought we might be in green-blue. But then it was quite clear from the signals we were getting, the cards that were coming around, that black-green was more open, and we ended up picking up some great black-green cards in pack 3. And yeah, had a sweet black-green deck. I really like playing this deck. Team Pennant was actually pretty good. We didn't see it too much. But when I did have it, I felt really good about it. Being able to strap on the Team Pennant to like a Pledge Mage, attack for 6 every turn with Trample, and be able to block with it was great. I'm not sure if Tend the Pest is great or not. There was one chance for us to play it where it was going to be really good, and I kind of punted a bit, so apologize for that, but I think overall this deck was great. I really liked always having a turn 2 play, lots of 2 mana cards, lots of 3 mana cards, and a solid deck overall. So thanks so much for watching. This has been the Daily Travesty, and I hope to see you guys again soon.